nothing like that inspiring story that just happened. So when I was 24 years old, my son's father had finally started picking my son up on weekends, and I was really excited about it because now it left me with my weekends. I got to live my life on the weekends. And just to preface the story, I am a true believer in like fantasizing and living out those fantasies as long as they don't hurt anybody. And so I'm a big believer in that. Like when I saw someone win the Moth Grand Slam, I was like, ooh, I want that. I'm gonna get that. And then in June, I got it. Like it felt good. It's like, woo, fantasy, right? And some fantasies are good to fucking fulfill. This is a story about the opposite of that. So I'm 24 years old and I got the place to myself and I decide that I have always wanted to experience being with a woman, right? And I was 24, so that was like 11 years ago, and this was back, so there was no fucking internet, and there was no Skype, and there was none of that shit. All we had was the fucking reader, and it was 4 sections. Y'all remember the reader? When it was 4 sections, and there was a section in the classifieds in the back that was like the adult services, right? And so there's a number that I could call where you get to like put a little ad and just say, hey, and my ad was like, hey, I want to be with a woman, and that'll be my first time. It was a lot sexier voice, and I was like, and I started getting hit up. So now I'm like, I feel like a G, y'all, because I got a bunch of girls hitting me up, and I know what I want. Like I have in my head, I have a vision of what it is I want. Like I want like a dark skinned, like Naomi Campbell woman, right? Because I figure like this shit'll look hot. Like I'm trying to be like, shit'll look hot. And I wanted her to have like long hair, so I knew, like I fantasized about this. Like let me tell you, I fantasize all the fucking time. I got a fantasy where there's like a Coliseum type room where like every room has got a different person. And if I want it, bam, big booty Brazilian bitches. And a room full of fucking Marines, like a room full of Marines on another one. I can have anything I want in these rooms. So I knew that I was gonna get this woman. So I'm like, now I'm talking and I'm vetting these women. Like I'm on the phone vetting them. Like, okay, so what you look like, and what your hair look like, and what your booty look like. Like I can do that because they know what this is. I'm not trying to be your girlfriend. So I'm getting hit up and they're answering my questions, and one of them says, I think I'm everything you need, and she describes herself, and I'm like, yep. She's like, oh, ass so big you can see it through the front, and I was like, that's what I want. Like that's what I wanted. So I'm like, all right, I live at so and so fucking Lincoln. Come through, and she comes through, and I'm like, ding dong, right? I run downstairs. I'm like in like yoga pants and a fucking tank top, and this is back when this was like right, and so I open the door, and I'm like fucking Smokey from Friday. I was like, what is this? Like, what is this? Because she wasn't nothing like she said she looked. Like she was short and light skinned and had like no hair. Like I was just like, oh bitch, no. So I'm nice. I'm not like a dickhead. I had her come up and we had a drink, and then I'm like, yeah, you gotta go. I'll give you a ride. And so I gave her a ride home and then dropped her off, and she was like, sorry, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, and like she got out. And so she came, I'm an asshole. So then I get home and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I get on the phone again, right? And so now I go back to cause why not? So I'm like, all right, the night is young. So I'm like vetting more women. And now I'm talking to one who's like telling me exactly what I want to hear. And she's saying some freaky shit. And I'm like, yeah, you see, what just happened not like 45 minutes ago. And she's laughing and she's like, nah, boo, I ain't gonna do you like that. And I'm like, you better not, because I'm not even letting you up. I'm not gonna waste my liquor on some bullshit. So, for real, G, like I'm a G, yo. And so, she gets there, and I'm like, all right, she's there. And she's right, like Janet Jackson right, like the fucking Rhythm Nation hat on, hair in a ponytail, ass, you can see through the front, and I'm like, yes. So we go upstairs, and we sit on my couch, And I'm living in like this pimped out loft, y'all. They thought I had money. And so she's sitting there, and we're sitting there watching TV, and she's like, hey, you wanna fuck around? And I'm like, that's the whole point of this, right? So we get to like making out, and then she's like, well, since I know you ain't never ate no pussy, right? I'm gonna show you first, and then you can do me. I'm gonna tell you, I've been with enough men that this woman, y'all can't fuck with her. I don't even know where she is. It felt like a drill bit on her tongue, like a fucking drill bit. I was like, girl, yes, almost done, yes. So now it's my turn, and so I hook her up, and I'm like, this fantasy is happening, and then she like comes, right, and it's gross. I'm sorry, it's gross. It's not. It's like sour and gross. Right. So to make me feel better, because I told her like, nah, I like it. She decides to go back down, right? And I'm like, all right, to make me forget. So she's down there again, and we're in my living room. And so now I'm getting into it again, and it's like, yes, and now I got my hand on her head, and I'm like, do it, yes, do it, yes, and I'm like, there again, and I look at my hand, and this bitch's ponytail is in my fucking hand, in my hand. And I just, drop it, and just like, nah. And she sits next to me, and I'm like, ah. And I'm like, all right, that was cool, you want to go home now? Right? And I dropped her off, and I'm just like, I fulfilled a lot of fucking fantasies, y'all, and I'm so happy, and like, happy that I did them. And this one was just one that didn't hit, right? But next time, I'll just make sure her shit is real. You could have left out the sour. That word, bacalao. That word and tart. Like, tart. But just to defend women, we have our own ecosystem happening. And sometimes it's off. But some of y'all's shit smells horrific. And look at all the dudes who are like, Sprouts. Am I right? Sprouts and shit. Cheese. Or else I just been with some dirty, dirty motherfuckers. But a lot of women were like,